There's something incredibly powerful about keeping your biggest plans to yourself, at least until the right time. Too often, people excitedly share their dreams and aspirations with others, believing that doing so will bring them encouragement, support, or motivation. While in some cases this might be true, more often than not, speaking too soon about your plans can do more harm than good. When we dream of achieving something great, a new business, a career change, a big project, we naturally want to share that excitement with the people around us. It feels good to express our ambitions and let others know about our goals. However, what many fail to realize is that announcing your plans prematurely can expose them to unnecessary risks, obstacles, and negativity that might not have been there otherwise. One of the biggest reasons to keep your plans private in the early stages is that dreams are delicate when they are first formed. A new idea, a vision, or an ambition is like a small flame that needs protection from the wind. When you share your plans too soon, you open the door to doubt, criticism, and even discouragement from people who might not understand or support your vision. Some people might dismiss your goals as unrealistic, while others may intentionally or unintentionally plant seeds of doubt in your mind. Even well-meaning friends and family members may question your ability to achieve what you set out to do. They might say things like, "That sounds risky," or "Are you sure that's a good idea?" While the concerns might come from a place of love, they can still have a negative impact on your confidence. If you hear too much skepticism too soon, you might start second-guessing yourself before you even begin. Another danger of sharing your plans too early is that it can create a false sense of accomplishment. When we tell others about our goals, we get a sense of validation and recognition, even though we haven't actually achieved anything yet. This phenomenon, known as social reality, tricks our brains into feeling like we've made progress simply because we've talked about it. As a result, we might lose the drive and discipline needed to take real action. The more we talk, the less we do. In addition, when you openly discuss your goals before they are set in motion, you might unintentionally invite unnecessary competition. Not everyone who listens to your plans has good intentions. Some people might take your ideas and try to implement them before you do. Others might find ways to undermine your efforts out of jealousy or insecurity. The truth is, not everyone wants to see you succeed, and some may actively work against you. Keeping your plans private protects them from interference and manipulation. Moreover, life is unpredictable. As we work towards our goals, we often encounter unexpected challenges and setbacks. If you've already told everyone about your plans, you might feel pressured to follow through even if circumstances change, or if you realize the path isn't right for you. This pressure can lead to unnecessary stress, anxiety, and even poor decision-making, as you may feel obligated to live up to others' expectations rather than adjusting your course based on what's truly best for you. Instead of seeking external validation or approval, it's wise to focus on taking quiet, consistent steps toward your goals. When you work in silence, you free yourself from distractions and negativity. You give yourself the space to make mistakes, learn and grow without the fear of judgment. You also allow your work to speak for itself when the time is right. Successful people understand the value of discretion. Many of the greatest achievements in history were developed in silence, behind closed doors, long before they were revealed to the world. Writers spend months or even years working on books before they announce them. Entrepreneurs build businesses quietly before launching them to the public. Athletes train tirelessly behind the scenes before stepping onto the big stage. This doesn't mean you should never share your plans with anyone. It's important to have trusted mentors, advisors, and close friends who can offer guidance and support. The key is to be selective. Share your goals only with those who genuinely have your best interests at heart. People who will encourage you, offer constructive advice, and help you stay accountable. Another important lesson is that timing matters. There is a right time to reveal your plans, and that moment comes when you have already taken meaningful steps toward making them a reality. When you have a solid foundation, when you have prepared for challenges, and when you have something tangible to show, that is when sharing your vision can be powerful. At that point, your words are not just empty aspirations, but a reflection of actual progress. In the end, wisdom teaches us that not everything needs to be spoken aloud. There is strength in silence, power in privacy, and success in working diligently behind the scenes. When you protect your dreams from unnecessary exposure, you give them the best chance to grow and thrive. Move in silence, let your work do the talking, and when the time is right, let your success be the announcement the world hears. Conflicts are an inevitable part of life, whether they arise in personal relationships, workplaces, or social settings. Disagreements are bound to happen. However, how we handle these conflicts determines the strength of our character and the quality of our relationships. One of the biggest mistakes people make is openly sharing their personal conflicts with others, especially those who are not directly involved. While it may feel satisfying in the moment to vent frustrations or seek validation, doing so can lead to unnecessary drama, misunderstandings, and even permanent damage to relationships. Exercising discretion and wisdom in dealing with conflicts is essential for maintaining peace and integrity. One major reason to avoid sharing personal conflicts with others is that every story has multiple sides. When people experience conflict, emotions run high and their perception of the situation becomes clouded by their own feelings. When sharing an issue with someone else, there is often a tendency to present only one side, the version that supports our perspective. The listener, lacking full context, may form a biased opinion, which can lead to unnecessary resentment toward the other person involved. In some cases, this can escalate a minor disagreement into a much larger issue as others get involved and take sides. Another risk of discussing personal conflicts with others is that it damages trust. If someone confides in you or has a disagreement with you in private, they likely expect the matter to remain between the two of you. When you share those conflicts with others, it signals to those around you that you cannot be trusted to keep personal matters private. Over time, this can harm your reputation, making people hesitant to confide in you or engage in deep, meaningful relationships. People want to feel safe in their connections, and if they fear that their struggles or disagreements will be made public, they may distance themselves from you. Sharing personal conflicts with others also invites unnecessary influence and interference. When you seek advice or vent about an issue, the person listening may offer their perspective, but their advice may not always be wise or constructive. In some cases, they may encourage actions that make the situation worse, either out of misunderstanding, bias, or even personal motives. Some people thrive on gossip and enjoy fueling conflicts rather than resolving them. By involving outsiders, you risk adding unnecessary complications to a situation that might have been easily resolved with direct communication. Additionally, discussing personal conflicts openly can have long-term consequences. Words once spoken cannot be taken back. If you speak negatively about someone in a moment of anger or frustration, those words may spread beyond your control. Even if the conflict is later resolved, the damage caused by your words may linger, Others may continue to view the person negatively based on what you shared, even though the situation has already been reconciled. This can create ongoing tension and fractured relationships, sometimes even affecting entire social or professional circles. Another important reason to keep conflicts private is the impact on personal growth and maturity. Handling disputes directly with the person involved fosters emotional intelligence, communication skills, and conflict resolution abilities. Running to others to discuss the issue instead of addressing it head-on can prevent personal development. Avoiding direct confrontation might feel easier in the moment, but it ultimately weakens your ability to navigate difficult conversations and reach resolutions in a healthy way. The ability to have open, honest, and respectful conversations with others, even when disagreements arise, is a sign of true maturity and strength. Furthermore, sharing personal conflicts with others can create cycles of negativity. The more we talk about a problem, the more power we give it over our emotions. Constantly revisiting and retelling the story can reinforce negative feelings such as anger, resentment, or bitterness, making it harder to move forward. Instead of focusing on solutions, we might find ourselves dwelling on the problem, replaying events in our minds, and allowing the conflict to take up unnecessary space in our thoughts. Keeping conflicts private helps in processing emotions more effectively and finding solutions rather than fueling frustration. This doesn't mean you should never seek counsel or guidance when dealing with conflicts. There are times when seeking advice from a trusted mentor, counselor, or confidant can be beneficial. The key is choosing the right person, someone who is mature, wise, and neutral. Their guidance should be aimed at resolving the issue, not escalating it. Speaking to someone who can offer perspective without judgment can help you approach the conflict with greater clarity and wisdom. However, this should be done sparingly and with the intention of finding a solution, not simply venting frustration. Another way to handle conflicts wisely is by practicing self-reflection before addressing the issue. Instead of immediately sharing the conflict with others, take time to consider your own role in the situation. Ask yourself whether your emotions are clouding your judgment, whether there was a misunderstanding, or whether you may have contributed to the problem in any way. Often taking a step back and looking at the situation objectively can provide clarity and prevent unnecessary escalation. When conflict does arise, the best approach is direct and respectful communication. Address the person involved with honesty and a willingness to listen. Many conflicts arise from miscommunication, and having a calm, open discussion can often clear up misunderstandings before they turn into larger issues. Approaching the situation with a mindset of resolution rather than blame creates a more positive outcome for everyone involved. Ultimately, wisdom lies in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Not every conflict needs to be broadcasted, and not every disagreement requires outside involvement. By keeping personal conflicts private, you protect relationships, maintain your integrity, and promote an atmosphere of trust and respect. Handling conflicts with discretion, maturity, and direct communication leads to stronger, healthier relationships and personal growth. When in doubt, choose peace over drama, resolution over resentment, and wisdom over impulse. There is a certain vulnerability in being human. Everyone has weaknesses, struggles, and personal battles that they deal with. While it's natural to seek comfort, validation, or even guidance from others by sharing our difficulties, not everyone needs to know our deepest weaknesses. Being open about our struggles can be beneficial in the right context and with the right people, but revealing too much to the wrong individuals can lead to unintended consequences. Knowing when and with whom to share our struggles is a sign of wisdom and self-preservation. One of the primary reasons to guard your weaknesses is that not everyone has good intentions. We live in a world where people's motives vary widely. Some individuals genuinely care and want to support and uplift others, while others may use the information they gain for their own advantage. When you expose your weaknesses, you give people access to the most vulnerable parts of yourself, and unfortunately, not everyone will handle that information with kindness or discretion. Some may use it against you in subtle ways, such as undermining your confidence, manipulating you in moments of doubt, or even spreading your personal struggles to others. In professional settings, for example, revealing weaknesses too openly can hinder opportunities. While honesty and authenticity are valuable traits, there is a fine line between being open and being perceived as incapable or unreliable. If you openly discuss your deepest struggles with coworkers, colleagues, or even superiors, they may unconsciously begin to view you as someone who cannot handle responsibilities effectively. In competitive environments, people may use your vulnerabilities to their advantage, positioning themselves above you or questioning your ability to perform under pressure. On a personal level, being overly transparent about your weaknesses can affect relationships. While it's important to have deep and meaningful connections with others, it's also crucial to understand that trust should be built gradually. Not everyone is equipped to handle the weight of your struggles, and some people may distance themselves if they feel overwhelmed by your openness. Others may act supportive in the moment, but later judge you or change their perception of you based on what you've shared. Additionally, sharing too much about your weaknesses can make you dependent on external validation and reassurance. While it's natural to seek encouragement, relying too heavily on others to lift you up can weaken your inner strength. True resilience comes from within, and learning to navigate your struggles privately can help you develop emotional and mental fortitude. When you constantly share your hardships with others, you risk becoming reliant on their opinions, approval, or advice, rather than learning to trust your own judgment and problem-solving abilities. Another significant reason to guard your weaknesses is the unpredictability of relationships. Friendships and close connections can change over time. Someone you trust today may not always remain in your life, and if you have shared too much, that information may no longer be in safe hands. People grow apart, disagreements happen, and sometimes relationships end on bitter terms. If someone has knowledge of your deepest insecurities and struggles, they may use it against you in moments of conflict, intentionally or unintentionally. There is also a psychological aspect to consider. The more we talk about our weaknesses, the more power we give them over our lives. Constantly vocalizing our struggles can reinforce negative thought patterns and make them feel even more significant than they are. Instead of focusing on solutions, we may find ourselves dwelling on the problem, deepening feelings of helplessness or self-doubt. By keeping certain struggles private, we give ourselves the opportunity to work through them internally, develop resilience, and emerge stronger. This doesn't mean that you should never seek help or share your struggles with anyone. In fact, seeking guidance from the right people can be one of the most powerful ways to grow and heal. The key is discernment, choosing carefully whom you confide in. Trusted mentors, close friends, family members, or professional counselors can provide valuable support as long as they have proven to be understanding, non-judgmental, and genuinely invested in your well-being. Another approach is to share from a place of strength rather than vulnerability. Once you have worked through a struggle and gained wisdom from it, you can use your experience to inspire and help others. When you speak about past weaknesses from a position of growth, it no longer carries the same risk as sharing them in the midst of struggle. Instead of exposing yourself to harm, you use your story as a tool for encouragement and empowerment. Protecting your weaknesses does not mean suppressing your emotions or pretending to be perfect. It means being mindful of whom you allow into the most sensitive areas of your life. It means understanding that not everyone deserves access to your struggles and that some battles are best fought privately or with a select few. There is great strength in knowing when to share and when to remain silent. In the end, wisdom is about balance. Being honest and open is important, but so is discretion. Not everyone is meant to know your deepest weaknesses, and not every battle needs to be fought in the public eye. Protect your peace, guard your heart, and choose wisely who gets to walk alongside you in your journey.